Let's see what magic we get today. That's utterly useless. As far as the Japanese go, something new has been added today. They didn't, the atypical gaijin, oh, we're going to drop a patch in. And they've added in new ammo. That APF-SDS for the Japanese Type 74. Interesting, gaijin. Very interesting. Now, why it didn't have that before? Yeah, reasons, comrade. One of the many reasons of Gaibib. Still, I don't need to spade that, so I'm not fussed about that at all. Basically, if I had stuff to work on, if for Japan at top tier, then yeah, I'd work on Type 74. Or use it at least. But there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So, yeah, rip. Basically. Yeah, this is another thing that got nerfed in this little hidden patch. Strike accurate comment. Yeah, which is why they nerfed this 2 years after it's put into game. Well played, Gaibib. Well played. If you're wondering what they've nerfed on this, it's the turret rotation speed. In fact, I'll read out the list of changes, just so that you guys can hear for yourself. We've had the battle range changes and economy changes done, or added into the game. Let's see. The mechanics of the destruction system for the hull for lightly and unarmored vehicles has been changed. Now, to destroy these vehicles with kinetic shells, aka AP rounds, or APF-SDS, that kind of thing, you need to directly hit them with a shell of high energy, more than 1.4 megajoules. Where you're supposed to find that out, I have no idea. On one of the major internal modules, e.g. engine, transmission, breech, or shell storage. So what they're saying is they've done away with the previous hull-breaking game mechanics and changed it to what I've just described. So you need an extremely large caliber gun to fire an AP round, and it has to hit the engine, transmission, gun breech, or shell storage, aka ammo rack. That's just bullshit. It's just another, gaijin cop-out on what they're doing with the game. The hull breaking mechanics are crap. That isn't going to fix it. That really isn't going to fix it. Right. Main reason is, really, you can hull break a vehicle by shooting it in the gun breech, apparently. That makes perfect sense. Same thing if you shoot at the transmission or the engine or even the shell storage, because they are all obviously components of the hull. Yes. The physics of detachment of turrets or cannons from the body of vehicle, probability of detachment due to explosion, height and direction of flight of the turret has been improved for all ground vehicles. Again, it's not really going to change gameplay at all. New kinetic piercing effect for the 127mm H-fire has been added. Yes. Coincidence. This rocket was able to pierce approximately 1 inch of armor when the detonator was set to deceleration. 1 inch of armor. Yeah. That's a little bit less than 3 feet of reinforced concrete, I think. With regards to penetration. One of the 12mm anti-aircraft guns on landing boats has been removed, blah blah blah. Again, really not going to change gameplay that much. The placement for some decorations on rank 6 vehicles, blah. The Puma and Yag Puma, a bug where there was no explosion effect and ignition of ammunition has been fixed. What that means, your guess is as good as mine. KPZ-70 and MBT-70 have had their vertical guidance speed increased or changed to 8 degrees per second. I don't know what it was before. Either way, it's been changed. The T-17E2 is at its maximum speed of horizontal guidance reduced from 60 degrees to 43 degrees per second, according to documents. The M13 and M16 have both had their vertical guidance buffed to 60 degrees per second, which is pretty damn high. I mean, they're only machine guns, but, there's still a massive increase. 3 times, 300%, I should say. what it was before. The Type 74s had the APF-SDS RAM, which I was just looking at, added. Why that wasn't put in at the start of the patch reasons. The Chi-Nu, Chi-To, Chi-To Late, Chi-Ri, and Nato have all had on-piercing shells added. I think they had on-piercing shells before, but they've had new stuff added, apparently. Object 268 has added its 14.45mm ammo increased. The MP1 has had the engine smoke generating system added, and the Sheridan has had its horizontal turret rotation decreased from 48 degrees per second to 24 degrees per second. For reasons. They're not actually giving a reference for that one. It's just decided, we'll nerf the Sheridan because it's too OP, obviously. So let's have a look at what people are saying in chat. When they up tier the IS-6, but now you have to face them even more in the Conqueror. I don't play around at that bat range, so it's not something I see that much. That's why they're putting the B7 to 7.0, but the camera, which is actually worse, is still going to be 8.0. Let's have a look, shall we? Have they really done that? Lol, guy bib. 7.0 bat range for the B57. And the Canberra, as someone just mentioned, is still 8.0. Another round of applause for Gaijin. Slow round of applause for another well-run round of bat range changes that obviously are just complete arse. Yeah, I mean, really, with regards to this game and its battle rating system and apparent historical accuracy, that flies in the face of each other. Well, to be honest, the B7 and Canberra are virtually the same. There's not that much difference between them. But if one's going down to 7.0, then the other one should be, maybe? Balanced, maybe, comrade? I mean, bomb loadout, I think, is pretty much the same. 6 1,000-pounders and 6 1,000-pounders. Maximum speed, that is spaded, 447 miles an hour. This isn't. 483 miles an hour, so it's fast done. So yeah, it is faster, but it's at lower battle rate. Yeah, they've obviously thought about that one for a long time. This is what we get for having a battle rating system that's based on player statistics. Because I'm guessing that people are taking this into Ground Forces or even RBA, and they just crash it. I see these ripping all the time. Like B57, B57B. In RBA and RB tanks, they rip 90% of the time, at a guess. And because of that, because player statistics is battle range, basically, that has been dented. Yes. Historically accurate comment. Anything else? That got up to 8.7. Still doesn't get APF-SDS rounds, but whatever. I mean, this is the other comedy thing, right? Chieftain Mach 5, the late model Chieftain Mach 5 did get APF-SDS. Does this get APF-SDS? No. Yet, it's 2 miles an hour faster than that, right? Well, actually, not even that, really. It's 1.6 miles an hour faster than Chieftain Mark 3, and deserves a 0.7 bat rating increase because of that. 1.7 was that, or 1.6? Let me look. 1.6 miles an hour difference equates to a 0.7 bat rating increase for that vehicle. They're the same as far as armor goes. The only difference is the engine. And 0.7 bat rating difference increased. Lol. Yeah, they've obviously thought about that as well. Conqueror's still down at 7.3. They're still at 7.0. Nothing really else has changed with the British top tier, at least. Let's have a look further down. That's still at 6.3. Really don't pay that much attention to these anyway, because it's low tier. But yeah, can't really. Now, I know that one thing did get changed in this patch as far as the Russians went, and the T54-1947 has been updated to 7.7 with this patch. It's 3 still at 7.3, but that's at 7.7. And that's still at 7.3. And that's still at 7.3. Yeah. Balance coming. These battle rains are just bullshit, they really are. T10M doesn't get its battle rate increase because reasons coming. T55A does though, because reasons. And the IT1. But not up to 9.0 because that's too much. Sheridan's been updated to 8.3, M60's been updated to 8.3. They were both 8.0 before. Let's see what else we've got here. M47 hasn't changed. M60's down to 7.7 now. For whatever reason. Still not in a folder with the actual M60s, but you know. Let's see, anything else down there that I can see? Nothing that I can easily spot there. Again, I'm just mainly looking at tier 4, 5, and 6. What little there is of tier 6. The Rakuten, yeah, that has been updated to 9.0 as well. And obviously the M60 A1P Rise thing, that's at 8.7 now. Yeah, these battle rating changes. 9.0 for that, 8.3 for that. That's down to 7.0 now? What the fucking lols? That has the same gun as that vehicle, but it's 7.0 battle rating. Yeah. And it's a mess, as per usual. Right, so, yeah, looking at this, we've got American tanks and British tanks to do. And, yeah, the only vehicle that I've got talisman on for the Americans at tier 5 is the M60 A1 AOS, and that's been updated to 8.3 now. So that's fucked, basically. I was thinking of using that for this little next grind bit, but at 8.3 that's going to be updated, I'd say 99% of the time, into 9.0 games. Really wish that I'd put a talisman on that now, the M60, the first one, because it's a 7.7 and that means it will never fight against these things, which is kind of good news, I suppose. So how to approach this? Well, I think I'm going to try 6.7 game for a start, just to see what kind of battle rating, what kind of RP I can earn using tier 4 premiums. If it's not a lot, then yeah, we're going to be looking at a painful grind at rank 5, at a guess. Not going to lie, but this is why Wartham is on his deathbed, yeah. Whoever's changing the PRs isn't looking at the big picture, not even thinking long enough to realise what else it's going to affect. Yep. That's exactly why you refuse to research the Chieftain Mark 5 for what it adds to the Mark 3. It's useless and not worth 360k ARP yet. There are so many glaringly obvious things that could be easily changed, but for some reason they're overlooked. Yep. And fully updated to 7.7. Long. Well, that's a good start. So I'm guessing T54 scumbags, you know, and shit like that. And I guess, unless we're acting, which they're probably not, because reasons, yep, Germans and Russians versus America and Britain in Japan. Japanese apparently could be asked to turn up for this one.